of the future. And we're the name of the future. We're the name of the future. And we're the name of the future. Hey. Yeah. Shout out to Big Tez, man. And Big O. We're still a nation, man. Yeah. Big Tez. Big O. You know what it is, man. Still a nation. Big O. Yeah, Tez. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Ted. And it's a stomp. And it's still a nation. Big Ted. Big O. Big Ted. Big O. Still a nation. Big Ted. Big O. Big Ted. Big O. Still a nation, man. Yeah. And it's a stomp. Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a stomp, man. You know, it is a stomp, man.
Welcome to another edition of Steeler Nation Live. You got Big Tiz,
Big O, right here at you. Coming at you hard, coming at you live, coming at you fast.
Hey, a lot of things were happening in the NFL this week. Actually, we had a game yesterday with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Denver Broncos. Didn't go so well for us, Big O.
Well, like I always say, Big Tiz, we always want to start off on a positive note, but once again, here we are talking negatively. It's not a good sign when your team starts off 0-1, but it is 0-1.
Exactly. Well, a lot of the other things, too, we want to talk about in Pittsburgh. I'm wondering now, Big O, you know, with the rash of injuries, the rash of things that's going on in Pittsburgh, I'm trying to realize, is it like a full moon or something that's awakening in Pittsburgh? It's got to be a full moon that's blowing over Pittsburgh.
Something is not right in Denmark. I'm telling you, it's not looking good but it is one game.
Exactly.
One game. Now, I can refer back to last year's opening game against the Ravens. Now, we all know in Steelerland what happened that day. 35-7 blowout.
Ooh. Yeah, that was bad. That hit hard.
But at least this game, we were in it at some point.
Right.
Most of the game we were in it. We're going to go over that tonight, and we're going to preview also the upcoming Jets game, but we'll be in Heinz Field next week.
Exactly. Maybe that's what we need in Pittsburgh. Maybe we need some more home cooking. You know what I mean? You guys out there, we got the Jets coming into town next week, and the Jets, you're going to get hit in the mouth real hard. You know, that game last night, it took a lot out of me. It was a long night, a long night for me. You know, I cried myself to sleep. I'm not going to lie. I'm a man, and I cry. And I cried myself to sleep last night.
You know what? If we can play the Bills every week, I think we'd be all right.
Well, you know, Big O, actually, one other thing we want to talk about is our hot topic. And actually, it's going to be a hot topic that's going to be possibly for next week. And that hot topic is going to be about whether a guy or a player should pick family over the game.
Yeah, and we're going to touch more in depth later on that subject next week. This week's hot topic, we're going to talk about the National Football League's Referee Association. We're going to talk about the collective bargaining agreement that is not agreed upon yet. And that's going to be a hot topic for today. But also, new season, new stuff is coming to the show. Last season, we had what we call trivia. We had trivia contests where we'd get, Steeler trivia. We ask you questions. You would answer them. You could answer them correctly, you win a prize. But this year, we turn the trivia into something more unique.
Exactly.
How well do you know the NFL? So when you call in, it might not be Steeler questions. It could be questions about any team in the NFL that's going on right now. So, but do not fray. Do not be scared. These are multiple mistake questions, so you have just as much chance to get the answer right if it was Tampa Bay, New England, Houston, if you were those fans.
Exactly. We're going to give everybody a chance to win here at Steeler Nation Live. You got to be in it to win it. And also on this new season, like I said, we're going to give out you information about the website, www.SteelerNationLive.net. You can also go to www.SteelerNationLive.com. Both of them will take you to our website, and there you can see Big Tiz, Big O doing our thing. We have live videos. If you hit the webcast button, you can view us live. Actually, while this broadcast is going on, we're doing an audio and we're doing a live video broadcast. So go to the website, check us out. You don't know what you're missing. You got to see the beautiful faces that you got right in front of you.
Or TalkShoe.com, www.talkshoe.com. Search Steeler Nation. Our icon will pop up. You click onto that, and you can listen to the show. If our faces are too bad for you, if you can,
Tell them, Big O.
if you don't want to see these lovely faces, go to TalkShoe.com and search Steeler Nation. Also, next week we'll have something new: Johnny B's Fantasy. So a few folks at home in your fantasy leagues, 1, 2, 3 leagues, what we're going to try and put together is Johnny B. He knows his stuff. You call in, you ask him questions, he'll tell you who to start that week in quarterback.
Exactly.
Special teams, kickers, your sleeper for the week.
Right.
So just stay tuned next week. We're getting the ball rolling. We're getting some new stuff for you folks at home to have more fun with the show.
Hey, and like I said, we're going to continue on with the show right now. And one thing we want to start off the show with is we want to get you guys caught up on some of the scores that happened yesterday in Sunday's games. A lot of big games that happened besides the Pittsburgh game, which really nothing really matters, especially because it's still Nation Live. But we're going to run it down for you fans who want to listen and find out.
That's right, folks. Get your pencils and paper ready. For those of you keeping score at home, here's what happened around the league yesterday. We all know the Broncos beat the Steelers 31-19. The game was a lot closer than the score shows. Cowboys over the weekend, 24. New York Football Giants, 17. The luck runs out in Indianapolis. Bears, 41. Colts, 21. Lions, 27. Rams, 23. Last-minute TD stops the upset in Detroit. The Jets, 48. Bills, 28. Now, we'll touch base on this later. We don't know what happened, but it was the Bills.
Well, yeah, they were there at least.
The Texans stampede the Fish, 30-10. Vikings, 26-23 over the Jaguars. And, folks, first overtime game this season. And we'll touch base on the new overtime rules later in the show if you have any questions about that. Jacksonville tied it. Last-second touchdown, 4th and forever. It wasn't a Hail Mary, but it was a great, great long pass. Patriots, 34. Titans, 13.
Hey, Tom Brady's still doing his thing. Got to give it to him. I'm not a Brady fan, but he's out there doing it.
You only gave me 21 fantasy points, but we'll continue. Eagles, 17. Browns, 16. Now, this was what you would call an ugly game. To Michael Vick picked for 4 interceptions, 1 for a pick 6, but the Eagles outlast them, 17-16.
Wow, what's going on with Michael Vick?
Falcons, 40. Chiefs, 24. Matt Ryan lit up the air. I had him on my bench. We'll see next week what goes on with that. Redskins, 40. Saints, 32. Was this an upset?
I don't know. RG3.
Would you call it an upset? Cardinals, 20. Seahawks, 16 in a meaningless opening day game. Tampa Bay, 16. Panthers, 10. 49ers, 30. Packers, 22. They beat the Pack at home. This was the first home loss for the Green Bay Packers in their last 13 home appearances. So congrats goes out to the 49ers, and a great job. They were my special teams and defense on fantasy.
One thing I wanted to touch base with in that Green Bay game, I believe it was the kicker for San Francisco, tied a record, 63-yard field goal this guy made. I mean, the last guy who made it was what? Back in the day, I think he kicked about a 63-yarder, but I mean, this guy had a half a foot.
Tom Dempsey in the Dome in New Orleans. Now, this was an outside game, Candlestick Park, wasn't it? No, wait, I take that back. It was Green Bay. The cheese air was dense. So the ball traveled very, very well for the kicker for 49ers, and kudos goes out to him. It was a great kick.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we do have some other games that's going to be on tonight, this Monday night at 7 p.m., actually, while the broadcast is going on right now.
Doubleheader.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get that much, but you got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. And you know the Baltimore Ravens, well, both of them, they're in our division. So really here at Steeler Nation Live, we don't give a damn who wins, to be honest.
Well, I do. Go Bengals. Go Bengals. Green, wide receiver, my fantasy.
Exactly.
I have to put that out there, Tiz. I'm sorry. AC Green, couple TDs, please,
And then the next game is I think it's a 10:15 start, the Raiders versus the Chargers. And I'm thinking the Raiders might they owe the Chargers a lot of beatdowns. So the Raiders might play tough in this game. And I'm thinking the Raiders are going to pull this one out.
Well, believe it or not, Tiz, this would be a game to watch, and I'll tell you why. The heated rivalry between both clubs, it's just accelerating. Every time they play, I'm just waiting for the benches to clear. It's that intense.
Oh, I believe
Why? West Coast, they both stink. We don't care about them.
Exactly.
But you know what? If you want a good, tough, physical game, A lot of penalties. I guarantee a lot of penalties will be called in this game. This is the game to watch.
Exactly. Actually, you know what? We got a lot of text on the board. We got Dirty Birds blowing up on the board, which I know, you guys will get it sooner or later. We're coming for you here at Steeler Nation Live.
Well, don't forget, later on the show, we have Crybaby Corner. So pick up your phone, start dialing, trying to get in if you want to hear.
And actually, you know what? While we're on the phone, I'm going to give you guys the number. That's 724-444-7444. Caller ID 115243. Hit the pound key. For a guest, hit 1 and pound, and you're in, and you're here. You can hear us live on the radio station here at SteelerNationLive.net. And like I said, you love what you hear. And there's a lot of things going on. Actually, we also want to talk about, we had a new thing that came out this week. We had a female referee, first appearance ever in the history of the NFL.
And she refereed the Lions and the Rams game. And what had happened was she was a backup linesman. And one of the linesmen got hurt. Obviously, she had to come in, and she did a fantastic job for being in that position. A lot of pressure on her. Yeah,
that's big for a female referee coming into this type of league where it's basically men dominated. And she did an awesome job. And she came in at a time right now where referees are getting hit kind of hard because of the replacement ref.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that later.
Yep, that's one thing we're going to talk about later in the show. But actually, we're going to move on, and we want to talk about the Steeler news and updates.
But first, before we do that, Tiz, on a somber note, we all know what tomorrow is, do we not?
Oh, yes. 9/11, brother.
9/11. So what we want to do here is Steeler Nation Live for a minute, for a brief minute, because we don't want to rehash, horrible events. But this is something that happened in our history that we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives. Stories we'll have to tell our children, our grandchildren, their children. This isn't something that just happened, overnight. This is going to be with us forever. So what we want to do, if you don't mind, is I want to give a moment of silence to remember the fallen victims that were in both towers, all the EMS, the fire, the police, their families, anybody who was involved with the incident in 9/11, not just necessarily the towers, but in the Pentagon, in Pennsylvania, all the lives that were lost. If you don't mind, I'd like to give a moment of silence, Big Tiz.
Let's do that.
All right. All right, Big Tiz, we are back. And once again, we just want, our heart goes out to all the families involved in this tragic time of events.
Yes, that's hard thing to happen especially on U.S. soil. And we respect you guys that do the service and the way you do it day in and day out. You protect us and you help us stay, to our everyday life. And we respect you here at Steeler Nation Live. So what we're going to do, we're going to move on, Big O. I'm going to talk about some more Steeler news and updates. The Sunday night game, we had a Big Ben controversy. Everybody's looking at Big Ben. Big Ben is big guy, hard to bring down. But Big Ben, everybody doesn't know is going to be a father soon.
And this is good hit home for the topic, the hot topic for next week. Can a player put his family first before a game? And here's a situation, and we're going to put out to you Steeler fans out there. You call in, you text in, you let us know how you feel. Ben has openly put it out to the public. He's not hiding anything. That if the birth of his child comes on the day that the Steelers are scheduled to play, he's going to miss that game.
Big ups. Ben, you are the man. See your son born. This is not something that happens here and there. It's something that's important to you, and it's something that's going to carry through for the rest of your life. Let's get it straight. The game happens. We all love the game. We all respect the game, but families first.
And the thing about what Ben also put out was that if they can try to avoid giving birth on that day, which is almost impossible, it's not totally impossible. It can be done. But Ben says, and his wife is along with it, agrees with it, if they can adjust the scheduling of the delivery so that Ben can play, he will. But hey, you need to take care of business. You need to take care of business. It's not like he's going on a fishing trip with his pals or a 50-year wedding anniversary for mom and dad. I mean, the big things is if somebody passes away, a family member such as father, like Brett Favre's father did, and he even played that game.
Yes.
But a passing away of a very close relative or the birth of a child, you need to be there. And the reason why this is going to be a hot topic, back in 1993, remember the team called the Houston Oilers?
Yes.
Well, they had an offensive tackle named David Williams who did not want to miss the birth of his first child. So he missed a game. And what do you think the Oilers did to him?
They sat him down. They fined him.
They fined him. They didn't fine him. They didn't pay him for that game.
Right.
And the big offender of this was the offensive line coach who, because he didn't go to the birth of his first child, he felt that football was more important than the birth of his first child. He stayed there. He told Williams that he let the team down, he let the city down, he let everybody down because I guess this guy made the team. If he wasn't playing Tiz, I guess the Oilers would have lost. And I don't even remember what game that was because I'm just, I don't want to get too technical with the stats of this.
Right.
But we're just trying to bring out a point about how people can be. So we want to hear how you feel. A lot of people, believe it or not, Steeler fans don't want Ben to miss any games.
Exactly.
Don't care. And that's you out there. You need some help. Steelers are about family. That's what the Roonies are about. If you're a true Steeler fan, then you know what I'm talking about. Steelers are family. And if you have to leave work because your child's being born, you leave.
Exactly.
You have firefighters, you have police officers, people who put their lives on the line leave work to go home for this stuff like that. So that's the big topic we're going to talk about next week.
And you know what? While we're on this, I want to let everybody know you can also text us on the board on TalkShoe.com. You can text us once you call in at the 724-444-7444. Caller ID number 115243. Hit the pound key. If you're a guest, hit 1 and pound. And on the video side of it, if you go to the website and you hit webcast, once you hit webcast, you should see our video. And right under our video is a small chat box. A small chat box. And once you get in there, you should be able to chat right there. If not, we apologize to you here on Steeler Nation Live. We've been having some technical difficulties on the video side of it. So, like I said, we're still working out the kinks, and we're here to serve you on Steeler Nation Live.
That's right. So what also we're going to talk about is, the new uniform. Well, not the new uniforms, the throwback, the 80th anniversary throwback uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Steeler, baby.
We have dates for you. These are the dates. Get your pencil and paper down. If you have one of these jerseys, me and Tiz, we're waiting for our jerseys to come in any day now. I got my DeCastro jersey, and you got your Harrison on the way.
That's it, baby.
So if you're going to be at the Redskin game, the home game in Heinz Field on October 28th, that's the time to wear it. Or home against the Ravens on November 18th. So that's what we're looking at right there. So also there's a lot of stuff coming on. I just can't wait till fantasy Johnny B's fantasy next week because
that's gonna be big. If you're a fantasy guy, you got to be on there listening to Johnny B. Johnny B is gonna be doing a lot of stuff. So hey, I'm telling you, be there. You got to be in it to win it. If you want to win fantasy, listen to this guy. He's got a lot of good pointers. And actually one thing I want to talk about with the Steelers and the signing of cornerback DeMarcus Van Dyke.
Oh, what a great sign this kid was. Fast, but can he catch the ball?
Exactly.
Can he cover somebody? I don't know. If the Raiders let you go, that's not saying too much. But he did. His first play for the Steelers last night, I don't know if you caught it. He downed the one punt to 1 yard line to keep the Broncos deep in their own end, and the 1 yard line is pretty deep.
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. Hey, you guys, you know what? Right now on Steeler Nation Live, we're about to go to commercial. And once we go to commercial, we're going to come back. We're going to give you some game stats from the Bronco game last night. But you know what? Dismal game, but my boys did their thing. You know what? So we'll be back in a couple minutes on Steeler Nation Live.
Dan knows that buying or selling a home is one of the most important things you will ever do. Dan wants to make that experience as smooth and successful as possible. Dan's extensive expertise in the real estate market will benefit you whether you're looking to buy or sell a home. Once Dan knows what you want, he will work tirelessly to find the right home for you.
because no one should compromise when it comes to such a huge purchase. Whether you're looking for homes for sale, moving resources, or even mortgage information, everything you need is right here with Dan. Dan will always be available for personal service by phone or email, so feel free to contact him with questions at any time. So when buying or selling a home, don't get frustrated or throw in the towel. Just call Dan Powell at 585-704-8324. That's 585-704-8324, or email Dan at dan@rochhomefinder.com. That's Dan at ROCHOMEFINDER.com. What a great game. The Steelers are winning, the defense is stepping up, and the O-line is finally protecting Ben.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. Give him a little time.
I'm hungry.
When aren't you hungry?
Guys, I know it's only the second quarter, but don't forget I promised you guys Permane Brothers after the game.
Why'd you have to say that, Dad? Now I'm hungry. Can't wait to get my double pastrami like always.
Hey, what do I look like? Some kind of summoner who's going to summon Permane Brothers sandwiches right to our seats?
Dad, there's a Permane Brothers right here in Heinz Field.
Hey, that's right. Now I'm hungry. Hey, let's not wait. Let's go get some delicious Permane Brothers right now. And you know what? Maybe one of you guys could pay this time.
Hey, Dad, if we get it right now, can we still go afterwards, too?
Permane Brothers, almost famous, always a favorite. Permane Brothers is home of the almost famous sandwich. Fresh grilled meat and cheese piled high with french fries, coleslaw, and tomatoes, all between two thick slices of fresh Italian bread. It's a Pittsburgh tradition for every Steeler fan. Permane Brothers has 20 locations, including 3 in South Florida, from the original on 18th Street to the surrounding suburbs of the city of Pittsburgh. Permane Brothers has been making this famous sandwich for almost 80 years. You can check out all their locations at their website, PermaneBrothers.com.
We're back in Steeler Nation Live.
Woo!
We want to love you guys for supporting us here on Steeler Nation Live. A lot of things going to be happening this year. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the Bronco game last night, which was devastating. Devastating to me. The Steelers played good early in the game.
One game, Tiz.
It's one game.
One game.
I got to let it out on the air.
All right, let it
You
out.
know what? We played well early, but you know what? A game is 60 minutes. 6-0. That's what we needed. If we had 60 minutes worth of hard playing, that game would have been a victory for the Steelers. But you know what? I can't cry over it. Granted, a tear rolling down my eye right now at the moment. I don't know if you can see me on video, but you know what? It happened, so we got to look past it.
Well, let's. We talked about this earlier in our board meeting, Tiz, and we know the past 3 games we played were in Denver, and the one person that we were missing, and you know this guy. Look at the screen, Tiz.
Oh, it hurts.
I'm telling you, to see him on the sidelines last night, it just killed me. But you know what? I guarantee you Bronco fans out there, you know the truth. You come to Heinz Field, you lose this game.
Exactly.
Guaranteed. You lose this game. Mark my word on it. But talking about that, one thing else happened yesterday. It was somebody's birthday. Dick LeBeau's birthday. Turned 75 years old. Defense coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Happy birthday, Mr. LeBeau. But you know what? He did not get the birthday present that he was looking for. But 75 years old and you're coaching one of the best defenses in the world. Got to tell you, man, you know what you're doing. But here we go. Some of the stats not too good, but here we go. The big thing, Tiz, was where was the offense?
That's what I'd like to know. I really would like to know that myself because I didn't see it last night.
You look at these stats, and you listen to these stats, Tiz, and they're mediocre at best. Total yards for the Steelers 284, Broncos 334, and we all know why that happened. That was all in the air, brother. Penalties, Pittsburgh average 8 a game. That's not a great stat that we want.
Exactly.
But you know you can expect at least between 6 and 9 penalties per game for 52 yards. Broncos, they were almost up there. They had 6 penalties for 49 yards. Pittsburgh, 1 turnover, and you know that was a huge one. That was the pick 6 late in the game. Broncos also had a turnover. That was a fumble. That was in the first half. That was a great defensive standoff in the first half for the Steelers. Steelers were 11 for 19 on third down conversions. Broncos, 5 for 9. They only had 5 third-down conversions. Why is that? Because they're converting first and second down. Time of possession, folks. 35 minutes. Pittsburgh has the ball. 25 minutes for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Now I have to give praise to Ben Roethlisberger. This was the best game that he had when he was working the clock.
I agree with you. Roethlisberger played a great game first, second, and third quarter. But like I said, the game is 60 minutes. And don't get me wrong, I believe Roethlisberger. I believe you're a great competitor. You're an all-out quarterback, and you're a gunslinger. But the thing about it is, you got to make those plays when we need to make those plays.
Now, Big Ben was 22 for 40 for 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. We all know who caught one of those touchdowns. Mike Wallace.
Big Mike back in Pittsburgh. That's what we're talking about.
However, that one interception for the pick six, that hurt us.
Oh, yes.
Manning, 19 for 26 for 253 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. Now, Manning's is a passing quarterback.
Right.
Is he not?
Yes, he is.
Why did Ben have twice as many attempts, and we're supposed to be starting his new rushing offense? I need some help on that. I want some answers for that. Dwyer, he was the powerhouse on the ground, I guess. 9 rushes, 43 yards, no TDs. Antonio Brown, 4 receptions, 74 yards.
Love that guy.
No
Love
TDs.
him. Love him.
The defense was the defense. 2 sacks, 1 fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. And squeeze him. 2 for 2.
Impressive.
For 3-pointers and 1 for 1 on the extra points. I mean, he did us proud.
Actually, the old Dallas Cowboy doing his thing. Unbelievable. Dallas Cowboy that we let sneak into Pittsburgh. But, hey, he's doing it.
But the thing I want to talk about Wallace, though, it shows that he is not just a one-dimensional receiver now.
Right.
His longest reception was, 14 yards?
Exactly.
I think that was for the touchdown. But
that's the guy that's coming back off a long layoff. So, I mean, you got to look at it this way. Wallace is coming back off of being off and having no preseason game experience and coming into a big game in Denver where the team is full of injuries. And he stepped up. He picked up a couple big first downs what Pittsburgh needed and eventually got a touchdown.
All right. Now, here's the part of the show, Tiz, where we go over the game stats, that what went right. Obviously, a few things did go right because we scored some points. And so here's what happened. The Broncos won the toss. They chose to receive, and they got a couple first downs right off the bat. But the defense held them, forced a fumble, forced the Broncos to punt, and McGahee, as I just said, he fumbled, we recovered.
Right.
That's great. First play in the Steelers uniform, we talked about it early, about DeMarcus Van Dyke, down to punt at the Broncos 1-yard line. Special teams haven't been that special, but you know what? Since we got the new special teams coach, everything's going great.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that should have won the game for us, Tiz, we ate up the clock most of the game, keeping Peyton Manning off the field.
Which is crucial.
And that's another reason why he only had 26 attempts. And the clockwork that Ben was controlling the clock was fantastic. If you notice, you watch the game, pretty much let every play go down to 1 second before he snapped the ball.
Well, I'm looking at some text on the board. I just want to let you know we are watching what's being texted on the board. And one of the texts on the board, I believe it came from someone that we know, Mr. Boyley. And, you know what he said, because you didn't have Mendenhall to take care of some of the offense, which I can see what he's saying, because Mendenhall is a nice runner, but Mendenhall, to me, sometimes can be somewhat of a dancer. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing about Mendenhall, which we're going to talk about later in the broadcast or possibly next week. We don't expect Mendenhall to be around next year.
I don't believe he is either.
Nope, and we'll talk about that next week. More information on Mendenhall right now. He was questionable for yesterday. He was doubtful, and then last-second decision, inactive with Harrison. But we'll talk more about that in the injury report. But the big thing about what we did right was Ben went back to his bread and butter, Heath Miller.
Exactly.
Now, why do you think that is, Tiz?
Well, that's the thing what we needed. You got to get the balls out of your hand quick, and the thing about it is a tight end is the best way to do it. These guys run short routes, and these guys run quick short routes. So that's why I said he's got to be a big plus to the Steelers games this year.
You have to have a tight end that you can rely on, just like the Tony Romo for the Cowboys. When Witten's not in the game, the guy's pretty much lost. But I'll tell you my version of why. Now, you got Wallace back in the game.
Right.
You got Antonio Brown, who can prove himself he can catch a ball. Now we got Emmanuel Sanders as well in the mix. Now, you're going to have to double up somebody, and you have to man-to-man the other guys, which leaves your linebackers to cover your tight end.
Correct.
This is where Heath Miller plays his best. Did you see how hard was it for the linebackers to cover Heath last night? Obviously, it was horrible.
Yes.
And Heath could have had a touchdown had Roethlisberger thrown the ball the way he should have. It was almost an interception. But getting Heath Miller back into the game, maybe that's Todd Haley's plan. Who knows?
I sure hope so.
But Tiz, we have to go back to the negativity again and what went wrong. And we can talk about this all night, but I'm just going to touch base a little bit about this. Never established the running game.
Right.
Now, for those of you watching the game at home who are really into the stats, first and goal from the 3 and you don't run the ball, you throw it.
That goes to the effect of having a bad line.
Now, if Bruce Arians was running the offense, I would say, that's just, we need a new offense coordinator. And now with all the talk with Todd Haley coming in, the new offense, we're going to run, we're going to go back to the Steelers of old. It didn't happen. I was a little upset with that. The running game in the first quarter, 1 yard on 6 carries.
Wow.
How many minutes in the quarter? 15?
Yeah.
And we all know that the Steelers held the ball for a long time.
That
so
was a
1
long
yard
time.
in the first quarter is ridiculous.
I believe it was 8 minutes or so they had the ball. That was incredible.
Red zone problems, once again. You have to run before you can throw. You want to reestablish the Steelers of old, the running game. You have to run the ball first.
Exactly.
Dumb penalties. We talk about this week after week, and Mike Tomlin also he talks about it as well. You have your mental and your physical penalties. These are all mental. Back to back. Come on, the same guy.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Bench him? There's nobody to replace him. You can't do that. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Roethlisberger and the O-line, but Tiz, when you have a backup left tackle starting at right guard, folks, do the math. You just can't do that and expect everything to go well. But Ben got the ball out quick last night.
Right.
And so that's we touched about base earlier. You got to cover somebody. You got to stop these long touchdown passes. Ben's picks 6 to end the game.
Can we get somebody to cover number 88? That's my main concern. Number 88, I don't understand this guy. He's not, to me, a prolific receiver. And this guy, for some reason, any highlights you see him in, he's burning Pittsburgh. Unbelievable. And off of short passes, which is unbelievable.
But the big thing, Tiz, and I'll end this on this note, that we have to stop wasting first and second down and hope and pray that Roethlisberger saves us on the third down.
Exactly.
This is what we're doing. We're doing these crappy plays, first and second. So now we're in a whole 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15. What are you going to do? You going to do that dumb draw again?
Yeah, and that's what it's looking like. Exactly. We go back to the draw, which is something that's safe, and we think it's guaranteed, but we can't, not with our line situation.
No. We can't do that. So we have to stop talking about the bad stuff, and we have to go right. We have to go right to the good stuff. It's just
exactly. And a lot of it too. There was a lot of injuries that came out of this game. Well, not just this game, but we have so many injuries in the preseason as well. I mean, it's getting ridiculous in Pittsburgh.
Well, Ramon Foster, he got hurt last night. He had to leave the game with an eye injury. And Marcus Gilbert hyperextended his knee. Another knee injury. Are you kidding me? What's the deal here? And against the Colts, we lost Sean Spence.
Unbelievable.
This is what we see on typical weekend.
Exactly.
This is it.
Steelers getting carted off the field. Unbelievable.
It boggles the mind how this can happen all the time. And it just injuries and injuries and injuries. When's it going to end?
Exactly. And that's what we're all wondering here. I mean, we also had Ryan Clark, he wasn't injured last night, but he was out of that game against Denver, which was something that we needed to be there, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, like I said, you play in Pittsburgh, Ryan Clark's back there, we win this ball game. Guaranteed. Look at the determination on a guy's face. Does he look like a loser to you? No. If that was the case, he'd have a Cowboys jersey on.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? We're going to hit the commercial here on Steeler Nation Live. When we come back, we're going to come back with a hot topic of the night. and it's going to be about the replacement refs. So we want to get your feedback on that. So call us at 724-444-7444, and we'll talk to you here on Steeler Nation Live. We'll be back. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street, Rochester, New York. Critics is the ultimate in family breakfast dining. And if you're a Steeler fan, hey, you found the right place, Critics Restaurant. Critics Restaurant has been a neighborhood fixture in Rochester, New York for over 40 years. Good food, good fun. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street. Come check us out.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back, Steeler Nation Live, Rochester, New York. For those of you keeping score at home, yes, we are a Steeler show from Rochester, New York. And the weather, Tiz, I got to do the weather report.
God, here we go.
It's a clear, cool night here in Rochester. No rain. Can you believe that?
So if you're wondering what the weather is where you are, I don't know what to tell you.
But Rochester weather, great tonight. It's a cuddle night, Tiz.
Exactly.
It's a cuddle night.
All right, the show's almost over, guys.
All right.
But anyway, let's talk about our hot topic tonight. And our hot topic tonight is going to be the replacement refs. And one thing we're going to find out about the replacement refs, are they really held under a hard microscope as opposed to the regular referees that are on strike right now?
I think, it is that the replacement referees are doing a good job. But is that what we're paying money for? A good job?
Exactly.
I really think that these referees, replacement referees, look at that female referee. One of our callers says he may know her. He may know her. And that's fantastic. So if you do know her, you want to have her give us a call here at the station, give her the number if she's listening, and have her call right in. But you know what, Tiz? We got some more pictures here. And this is what I know. I know. This is how the replacement referees are being portrayed because of their calls. Is that fair? I don't think so. And another issue, we've experienced it. It was preseason though, but when the referees go to the booth,
right?
Okay, what do they normally do, Tez?
Well, usually they go to the booth, and the booth's supposed to be the one with the better view of what happened during the game. But sometimes we don't really know who's in the booth. I mean, from the looks of some of the calls, you figure it's probably a couple of guys from the Muppets or something. I'm
telling you, I think that's who's running the guys who run the show right now. I think that's what the deal is right there. Look at it. So if you don't know who those guys are, well, they're in one of your stadiums, and they're making calls for you. I guess they had a couple last night in Pittsburgh where Tomlin threw the red flag, and I guess that's what you get. You get what you got. Exactly what you get. But you know what? I think I think the replacement referees are getting a kind of a hard shaft. Don't get me wrong. It's good to see these guys, but the replacement refs, I think they're not getting a fair shake, guys. Well, you know what, Tiz? I have an official media release from National Football League Referees Association, and the reason why I'm going to read this, we usually are bipartisan. We usually give each side a fair shake, but from what we've seen, and after reading this media release, I have to read this. I have to get this out to the public, to the football fans, the Steeler fans. Anybody out there loves the NFL. There's three sides to every story, Tiz. One side, two side, and the right side. Okay, but lately we've been only hearing one side of the referees, and it offends me. Right. It offends me. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this media release, and it goes and before I start, I want to make sure that the folks at home know that the referees are not on strike. Okay? So if there was any word out there that the referees were on strike, that is furthest from the truth.
Right.
And after I read this media release, maybe it might clear up some air. So after locking out the NFL officials on June 3rd and refusing to negotiate with the NFLRA, the NFL is now engaged in misinformation campaign. On Sunday, the league sent a memo to its teams and leaked it to selected media for distribution to the public. It's unfortunate that the league has resorted to providing false and misleading information to its members and the media. Sources close to Steeler Nation Live have told us that there was no agreement this past Thursday or Friday to do anything other than to meet on Saturday. Any claim that any numbers were agreed to before Saturday is absolutely false. Members of the National Football League Referees Association negotiating committee traveled to New York to meet on Saturday with the NFL. Guess who didn't show up?
The NFL?
The commissioner did not attend. The National Football League Referees Association was prepared to discuss all remaining issues to reach a fair CBA. However, the NFL provided an ultimatum that the National Football League Referees Association abandon its positions on all issues other than compensation in return for the possibility that the NFL would modestly increase its offer. The NFLRA put forth a compensation alternative which was immediately rejected by the NFL. The NFLRA asked the NFL to reconsider the NFLRA's offer to grandfather the defined benefit position and discuss other alternatives to resolve the pension issue. The NFL rejected that request as well, Tiz.
Hard to believe, huh?
Having refused to negotiate until the 11th hour, the NFL has chosen a tactic on the leadership of the NFLRA. This is very unfortunate because they simply seek a fair CBA, Tiz, an opportunity to get back on the field. The NFLRA continues its position that its members receive slightly less than they were paid under the 2006 CBA and the continuation of the defined benefit plan for its current members. Now here's where it gets tricky, Tiz. All which would cost the NFL about 1/3 of 1%, Tiz, 1/3 of 1%.
Wow.
Of its $9 billion in revenues.
Wow.
It continues to mystify Steeler Nation Live the integrity of the game and the quality of its product in order to continue its attack on its professional referees. So, folks, if you have any questions or any comments, you can direct them to Michael C. Arnold and get your pencil and paper down and write his email down. It's nflramedia@gmail.com. So if you're for the referees to come back and you think they're not getting a fair shake, this is the email. This is the guy you want to talk to. That's Mike Arnold, nflramedia@gmail.com.
Wow. Very interesting piece here, Big O. You know, we love to hear it. And you guys, I hope you heard that information. And like I said, there's a lot of people that's being affected by this whole thing. And we want you guys to support either way it goes. You know, I mean, you have your feelings on either side. So,
but to be fair, let's be fair, Tiz, because we're a fair show. There are a lot of regular NFL referees that would like to choke right now because of last season.
Yes, there is.
And we all know who you are. What group of referees were doing a couple certain Steeler games. So you know who you are out there.
Yep. No names to be said, though. Hey, but we're going to head back to commercial. We're going to do a quick one. And when we come back, we're going to open up for Crybaby Corner. Once we open up the Crybaby Corner, stay on. We're going to give out the call number, 724-444-7444. Caller ID number 115243. Hit the pound key. If you're a guest, hit 1 and pound. And we want you guys to stay on because we want you guys to come through for the trivia. We're giving away gifts here on Steeler Nation Live. You got to be in it to win it. Like I said, like Lotto, ain't it?
We'll be back
on Steeler Nation Live.
McGinney's Sports Pub, 2246 East River Road, Rochester, New York. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday, noon till midnight. McGinney's is a sports pub featuring fine lunch and dinner. Whether from the menu or the chef's daily specials, there's always something great to eat until 11 p.m. McGinney's also has a full line of your favorite beverages with daily drink specials sure to quench your thirst and not your wallet. With 2 floors of seating, 20 HD TVs, there's never a bad seat to watch your favorite game. Happy hours from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and home of the Chicken Wing Challenge every Thursday night. McGinney's also offers full catering as well, so come on down and check us out. We would sure love to meet you. So go online to www.mcguinness.com and check out their full menu.
All right, we're back on Steeler Nation Live.
Rochester, New York. Hello,
And
people out there.
It's the witching hour. What's the witching hour? If you guys want to call in, I'm going to leave it open for you. Call in, talk about Pittsburgh, talk about something you're not satisfied with Pittsburgh. If you got a problem with something Pittsburgh's doing, if you got a problem with something else in the NFL, we could talk about it and get you straight. Maybe we could bring you over to the black and gold, start making your life run a lot better here on Steeler Nation Live.
That's what I'm talking about. We're here for you, folks.
724, to give out the number again. I want to make sure they get it right. 724-444-7444. Go to 115-243, hit pound.
Pound.
And for guests, hit 1 at pound, and you're in, and you can talk to Big Tiz, Big O.
That's
and
right.
We'll get you straight here on Steeler Nation Live.
Also, don't forget, you can text in too, Big Tiz. You can chat with us, text with you. Like I said last show, I'm not that, I can't do multitasking. So if I'm a little slow getting back to your responses, I apologize. I can blame my parents for that one. So,
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to continue on until we get calls coming through for Crybaby Corner as well. And we want to do the trivia, so we're going to wait till we get a call in for the trivia. But the trivia is going to be, how well do you know the NFL?
That's right, folks.
And we're trying to be nice to you guys. We want to give out gifts here on the station. So what we're going to do is we're not going to just label it to Pittsburgh Steelers gifts or answers. We want you to call in. And if you got your team out there, if you're a Giant fan, call in and we'll talk to you. If you're a Cowboy fan, call in and we'll talk to you. We'll do a trivia with you and we'll get you straight and let's see how well you know the NFL.
That's right. Let's talk about the gift we're offering this week. It's still up for grabs. It is, if for you card collectors out there, what we have from the Hall of Fame, a sealed pack of the guys who made it into the Hall of Fame this year. Each individual's card displays their stats for their career. Now, this is a sealed, unopened pack of cards. So if you're a card collector, you want this, Hall of Fame cards for each person inducted. We have Jack Butler, number 80, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly.
Tight end wide receiver. And also, don't forget, Dermonte Dawson, one of the best prolific centers in football history. If it wasn't for Mike Webster, I don't know.
But you know what? We're going to continue on with the show, and one thing we're going to talk about is the next week opponent, which is the New York Jets. After blowing out Buffalo 48-28, giving Buffalo what I call like basically a mercy killing on national TV.
Oh,
These
boy.
guys did it to Buffalo, and they're coming to Pittsburgh, and they still got that taste for blood in their mouth. And I hope that Pittsburgh's got a taste for blood in their mouth after what happened down in Denver.
When I saw the score, Tiz, I couldn't believe it. It was the Jets. But then I saw who they were playing, and it's the Bills. Folks, let me tell you something. We don't mean to bash any specific team. We don't mean to talk down to other teams, say, I don't know, Cowboys or the Jets or the Cowboys or the Bills, in matter of fact.
Or even the Dirty Birds.
But you know what? Let's talk about the Bills for a second while we have a minute. That what is going on with Ralph Wilson? Is he having a affair with Fitzpatrick? What is the deal with him? Why is he still quarterback? Why would they not draft a quarterback? Hey, the defensive end they got, Mario Williams.
A lot of money they paid this guy. A lot of money.
How's he working for you, Buffalo? 1 tackle yesterday? He did play the whole game, too. 1 tackle? I could see teams trying to avoid that end of the line. But you know what? For the whole game?
Exactly.
I don't think so. But while we're still waiting for callers, Steeler hater out there, you calling? Guy from Baltimore Ravens, give us a shout. Somebody give us a call. Let us know. We got Crybaby Corner just for you, folks. We got a lot of messages on the board and a lot of people texting in, but nobody calling in. So we're just going to go right into the preview of the Jets game.
Like the Jets are going to be like basically a formidable opponent for Pittsburgh, and like the Jets right now, they're showing that they didn't show their whole arsenal offense when they were playing the preseason. So basically, I think they were trying to play it very, very, very vanilla during the preseason.
Well, let me tell you, Tiz, they did 1 touchdown out of 4 preseason games. Boy, they were hiding a lot of stuff. Or maybe they have like the Energizer Bunny, the on and off switch. Maybe they didn't have the on switch on. They did this time.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of actually glad that they did that to the Bills before coming to Pittsburgh, because I can kind of see Pittsburgh taking them lightly as they came in because of their offense offensive woes in the preseason.
Well, we all know how Pittsburgh plays. They either play up to opponents or they play down to opponents. And this is one of the games where they're going to be playing down to their opponents. But here's what I predict, and folks, you out keeping score at home, write this down. Woodley and the Steelers pass rush are going to live in the Jets backfield. And I'm guaranteeing you, I wouldn't say guarantee, I predict, and more than likely, you'll see 4 turnovers. And the scores could be very close.
Right.
Could be very close. We're talking field goal. And that's because the Steelers are going to use that clock once again. And hopefully they'll do it on the ground instead of the air. It boggles the mind says how you can control the clock as well as they did and still keep the ball. Usually that you see how much time that they took off the clock usually is established by the run game. But that didn't happen in this case.
Right.
It's because that Ben worked the clock like a magician. And new look offense for the Jets, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks
like you were saying a couple seconds ago.
They're trying to be very innovative, so I'll give the Jets that. And a lot of things are going to come out of that game. I hope Pittsburgh is up for the game. Pittsburgh needs to get that ground game going. That's one thing that's very, very important. You got to have that 1-2 punch in any team that you're on. And the Pittsburgh right now, they're seeming kind of one-sided, with just like the end of last season where Ben had to step up and win games that you alluded to earlier in the show. Sure. And that right there, that has to stop because that's too much of a burden for any QB that's out there.
But let's go over a few stats. Believe it or not, I did take some notes on the Jets because I was somewhat impressed, even though it was the Bills.
Right.
Because they got that new, young, fresh defense. And anybody who plays fantasy football on ESPN, if they picked the Bills' defense, wrong. ESPN touted them as a sleeper pick of the week because they're young, they're vibrant, they're playing conference rivals. So they had people picking it. You know what? I just didn't go there. But Sanchez, 19 for 27, 266 yards and 3 TDs.
Wow.
You couldn't get 3 TDs in 4 games. And here he is. He had 1 interception, though. He had a passer rating, of 123.4, which is unbelievable for a Jets quarterback. And let's not forget the running game. Sean Green, 27 carries for 94 yards. So I'm not really too worried about, stopping the run game. I'm worried about the pass defense. That's what I'm worried about.
Exactly. And I hear that is one thing that kind of scares me in that. But you know what? It's going to be a big game. Steelers at home versus the Jets. Steelers got to show their wares. It's time for them to take off the gloves, hit them in the mouth, show them that Pittsburgh Steelers football is back. You know what? We got injuries, but just like any other team, we got to fight through them. We got to go forward.
Yeah, and I'm kind of leaning back towards the attitude that Tomlin has as far as winning. There's no style points for winning. And we're just going to have to, until we get this O-line together, which we had at the draft. We had it beginning of preseason, and then the roof caved in, the floor gave out, whatever you want to talk about. I mean, the wheels fell off. Whatever you want to say, it happened to the O-line. And you can only use bubble gum and string. This is not MacGyver.
Exactly.
Okay, we're talking Mike Tomlin and the Rooneys. We're not MacGyver. When you, like I said earlier, when you have second-string left tackles being your starting right guard, anybody who knows anything about football, and even if you don't, go home, ask your wife, your girlfriend, can a second-string left tackle start at right guard? Come on. Yeah. If you throw some math figures in there, she'll get it.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about football, but...
Exactly. Hey, guys, you know what? We're going to go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, we're going to go to our final thoughts for the night. And Big O has a big poem that he wants to read out there to you guys in Steeler Nation Land to let you know how he's feeling, especially after last night's game here on Steeler Nation Live.
Only option, look no further than Supreme Limousine. For any special occasion or need, Supreme Limousine will be there for you. Weddings, proms, wine tours, sporting events, bachelor and bachelorette parties, just to name a few. At Supreme Limo, they know how difficult planning a big event can be. So leave your worries behind because Supreme Limousine will give you peace of mind. Call Rich at 585-425-3711 and set up your special event today. Serving New York and parts of Canada for many years and through all of New York's worst weather, you will get to where you're going on time and safe. When you need a ride, Supreme Limousine is on your side. So call Rich at 585-425-3711. And at Supreme Limousine, you get supreme service, not a supreme price.
Hey, we're back here, Steeler Nation Live. And
That's right. You need a limousine, you call Rich. Supreme Limousine, not a supreme price.
Exactly. Hey, well, one thing we did, we put out their Crybaby Corner. There's a lot of scared Steeler fans out there that don't want to come out of the box because you're trying to root for somebody else. Maybe it's a family member there, and you're scared to pick up the phone and call 724-444-7444. It's got to be something.
Well, because I'm looking at this board and a lot of talkers out there.
Exactly.
A lot of talkers, but you're too scared to get on the. Can you pick up a phone and dial? On the phone, there's numbers. You press these numbers. That's 1-724-444-7444.
Exactly.
And then you hit the code 115243, the pound sign.
And if you're a guest, £1. And also remember now, we do have the trivia that we're going to be giving out. We're going to be giving trivia all through the season, so you guys got to be there. And also, we're going to be doing a live show at McGinney's Pub. You got to check it out on East River Road. We're going to be doing a live show down there. Big Tiz, Big O.
Thursday night game against the Titans.
Exactly. We got to thank Big Sal. Big Sal, if you're watching, thank you for inviting us in. Steeler Nation Live, the new home. McGinney's Pub.
McGinney's.
Exactly.
McGinney's Pub. Let me put that picture back up there for you.
Yeah, nice place to eat, nice place to go. You got to come check us
place.
out. Watch the Titans and the Steelers battle. You got to check us out. And
we'll do our pregame show, and then we'll do a little halftime action, and we'll update the first half and see how great the Steelers are doing. And,
yes.
And then we'll stick around. We'll ask questions. Maybe have some prizes to give out that night. We want everybody to come out, give Sal your support, give the Steelers your support. And next week, hopefully, we're going to have on the show a guest. Would be the main guy from the Steeler fan club that used to be Six Pockets. Now McGinney's has taken over.
Exactly.
Over the fan club, which is a great thing because Six Pockets was a great place. You can't knock it. Things happen. You know, we don't know what happened in Six Pockets, but, you know, you have to move on. And they decided that McGinney's was the place to go. So McGinney's East River Road, great food, great service, great time. You need to come check us out that Thursday night. But you know what? On to my final thoughts, Tiz. And, you know, it was late last night. Not a happy camper because, you know, nobody likes to lose. So I had a few final thoughts of what went wrong or what do I think personally on a personal note. So to start off with, Todd Haley, the honeymoon is over. There's no more excuses now. No preseason. We don't want to show our cards. We don't want to show our hand. It's over. It's time to step up and show the fans all this talk about establishing a run game again. I don't know. Were you trying to set up the pass so now next game you could do the run? I don't know. But like I said earlier, Tiz, the loss does not end the Steelers season like the last time we played the Broncos. We still have 15 more games to turn it around. Another thing, Demaryius Thomas really does own Ike Taylor.
He has proven it. I mean, this guy, 88, he should have his earrings worn by Ike Taylor.
I don't care who's throwing you the ball. He's not very good.
Exactly.
He's not very good. I thought, you know, the playoff game was a fluke, but it's not. He owns them. And another thing, let me continue talking about the defensive backs. Keenan Lewis and Cortez Allen, they need to learn how to tackle.
Please.
You're the last line of defense, bumping into people like a kicker and hope they fall down. You have to wrap them up and you have to tackle them. And one turnover, it's good, but good doesn't win games. Exactly. We have to be the Steelers' defense of old, where you're talking 3 to 5 turnovers a game, 3 fumbles, maybe interception or whatever. And now that Dick LeBeau has this set defense, I feel that teams are starting to pick up on this. Now our vulnerability is being exposed, and teams are going at will. Look at it. Look at the playoff game. Look at last game, and pretty much our only bright spot on the defense, and he's hurt, is Foot.
Yes,
he came up with 7-9 tackles in the first half yesterday, a sack.
Yeah,
Come on.
Probably
And he's hurt.
Yes.
Harrison, we all know he was game time decision inactive. Mendenhall, same thing. Come on, guys. Let's go. Step it up. Same old offense. Last night, if they didn't show the sidelines, you would swear that Bruce Arians was still running the offense. First and goal at the 3 and you throw the ball. That's Bruce Arians football. Was he calling the plays from, where is he now? Where is he? In Indianapolis?
Yes.
Was he calling the plays from the Colts? Yeah, come on now. Running backs, you got to learn how to catch the ball. Now, I'm very disappointed in Chris Rainey. I thought this was going to be our hot spot, the guy to go to dump the pass off where he runs, gets the yards after the catch. That didn't happen yesterday. But, Tiz, we hate starting the show off on a bad note, but we're going to end off on a good note. And here's a big thing, and I'm sure you caught it, and I'm sure other Steeler fans, if you're true fans, you caught this as well. Mike Wallace is no longer just a deep threat. He's no longer a one wide receiver guy.
Right.
He proved it last night. His longest catch, Tiz, was 14 yards. So what this does, you don't know who's going long. But before, he was one-dimensional. You saw Wallison, you know he's going long. The only problem is, where is he going? But now you don't know where he's going. Is that Haley's big offense? I hope not, because I tell you what, it's working. It's working. It worked last night for him. So that opens up Heath Miller to give him more catches. And we need to run the ball. Haley, run the ball.
You know what? I'm not going to be as long as Owen is on my final thoughts, but I'm going to elaborate what Big Owen just said. You got to run the ball. The ball has to be ran. That's how you control the clock, and that's how you can control the game. And Big Ben, much props to you. You did what you could to try to win the game last night, but it shouldn't always be on your shoulders. We got to step up. Young guys, defensive backs, step up and do what you got to do. Tackle somebody. Put your arms around it, which you've been taught since you've been
Wrap them up.
Exactly. Pop Warner football.
Wrap them up.
Play football. And one thing I can say about Dick LeBeau, you're 75 years old.
Happy birthday.
You're still a gamer. You're still a gamer. I got to respect that. And the fact that a lot of people think that you might be getting too old for the game, I know today if Pittsburgh were to release him, he'd be picked up by somebody in the snap of a hat at 75 years old. No. So one thing I got to put it on the players, the onus on the players as well. If he puts you in that spot, play football like you're supposed to play. And one thing I will say, the whole team collectively, you did an okay job against Denver, to be honest. It came down to one turnover. But defense, you're the one that needs to step up. Palomalo, much respect to you. I've never seen anybody have Peyton Manning rattle.
What an impact.
What an impact from one player to rattle this elite quarterback the way he did, to where he had to call timeout. Oh. Much props to you, Palomalo. So if you're listening, you got my respect, brother.
Oh, yeah.
So like I said, hey, guys, we're here. We're at the end of our show here on Steeler Nation Live. Like I said, we'll be on every Monday night, 7 to 8 on www.SteelerNationLive.net. Call in, and this way you can hear from Big Tiz and Big O.
Big O right here.
And we'll see you guys next Monday night as we do our thing, and we'll talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jets game, and hope we got good news coming out.
That's right, our victory at home.
Exactly. So we'll see you next time on Steeler Nation Live.
With the name of the future. And with the name of the future, hey. Yeah. Shout out to Big Tiz, man, and Big O. It's still a nation, man. Yeah. Big Tiz. Big O. You know what it is, man. Still a nation, man. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Tiz. And it's a stomp. And it's still a nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Still a nation. Big Tiz. Big O, Big Tiz, Big O, it's still a nation, man. Yeah, Mr. Stomp, Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a stomp, man. You know, it is a stomp, man. Yeah, Big Tiz, Big O, Big Tiz, Big O.